Good evening, people. We have 1 minute to go, but we're going to get started. I really hope you got your list of questions ready. But before we go, just want to turn around and say we got people from all over the world. We got, in actual fact, we got 2 people from Australia. Good evening. But more importantly, it's 5 o'clock in the morning there. Good morning, Elizabeth and Carol. We got people from the UK. We got people from the USA. We got people from Belgium. And people from Israel. I do apologize if I've missed anybody out. There's a few people I think here is from Denmark. There's one here from Hungary. So welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whichever the country you are calling from. Firstly, what I'd like to do is just to let you know, these are the people I'm going to be calling out and recognizing, people that are actually in the running for winning a free place for the next leadership weekend. We have Sophie Adams, who sponsored 2 people. Clifford Harris has sponsored 2 people. Alan Day has sponsored 2 people. Dennis Chizunga has sponsored 2 people. Greg Wilson has sponsored 2 people. Fraser Brooks has sponsored 4 people. Mark Blackburn has sponsored 2 people. And there's lots of you that have sponsored 1 and nearly 2 people, but these are people that just sponsored more than 1 people or 1 person that's going to be in contention for getting their free place. Do not forget, if you actually sponsor 10 people up until the end of October, you get your money refunded at the event, at the leadership weekend, the next leadership weekend. Okay, this evening or this morning, whichever country you're in, is all going to be about how to handle objections. When you go out there in the marketplace and you're looking at prospecting people, you will get people start to ask you a question. And an objection is normally a question in disguise. Now, what I'm going to say to you is the most important thing that you need to understand first is you never, ever should answer a question. You should always answer a question with a question. Give an example. Let's say if somebody says, well, in actual fact, I'm not going to give you an example. We're going to actually get people to load up their questions, and we will actually be telling you exactly, or I will be showing you how I answer the questions. So I'm hoping my assistant is going to be taking down questions and will let me know when the first question comes in. Fraser, you can let me know, yeah?
Yeah, that's fine. We have one here. I'm not a salesperson. I would struggle, wouldn't I?
Okay, now let's say if someone says to me, I'm not a salesperson, I'd struggle, wouldn't I? This would be my answer. Really? In what opinion, in what respect? Why do you think you would struggle? Then they're going to turn around and say, well, I've never done sales before. Guess what? Nobody likes a salesperson. So we are looking for people that haven't got sales experience. You would be perfect for our opportunity. Next question.
What about, I couldn't talk to people about something I didn't believe in?
Great question. I understand how you are thinking that you couldn't believe in it. Well, let me give you a little tip. What is it that you've actually purchased recently, or what is it that you know the exact price of that you bought in the past? Let's just go and show you how much cheaper it is using our product. In actual fact, are you near your computer? Yes, I am. Great. Can you open up a new web browser? Can you put in there shoppingsherlock.com/29603 and install the free app? What I'm going to do is I'm going to install the application on their computer, and I'm going to show them how to find and locate the cheapest product. Then they're going to have belief in the product. It is crucial that they understand why people are going to be wanting this product and why they're going to be needing the product. The new green is to save money. Next question.
I don't want to go door to door.
Oh, great. Well, I'm sorry, this is not a newspaper round or a milk round. Sorry, I thought I said to you or explained to you, this is a business opportunity. We're not looking at delivering leaflets or knocking on doors selling pots and pans or brushes. This is not a door-to-door business. This is a genuine opportunity where you can make it obscene amounts of money. Now, the people that I work with making thousands and thousands and thousands a week. Do you think you could make that sort of money knocking on someone's door? Now, okay, admittedly, if you're selling double glazing and you sell £50,000 worth of double glazing and you're making 10%, you might be making £5,000 in one hit. But guess what? You might have to knock on 10,000 doors to get that type of order. This is nothing to do with door to door. Does that sound fair? Next question.
I don't want to bother my friends and family.
Oh, that's a great question. In traditional network marketing, the first thing you say to people, a new distributor, is make a list of all your friends and family. And the first thing that comes into their mind is, oh my golly, I do not want to go prospecting my friends and family and selling them all the products. No way, Jose. Not looking to do that. Here's the difference. With the Shopping Sherlock, we don't have to do that. Why? Because people want to rush out there to their friends and family to give them their product for free. So we never get anybody turn around and say, I don't want to make a list of my friends and family. They tell us that they made a list of their friends and family because they want to get their auntie, their uncle, their mother, their father, their brother on the product. They need to get them making the savings. Next question.
It's not for me.
Okay, here we go. What part is not for you? So then they might turn and say, oh, I don't want selling. Well, do you know something? I always use the feel, felt, found. Do you know, John? I know how you feel because I felt the same way. But let me tell you what I found. When I got involved in the opportunity, I realized it had nothing to do with selling. All as I was doing was promoting an opportunity where I could help somebody earn an income. Imagine if I gave you a business that you could employ as many people as you possibly could. How many people would you employ? Well, I'd employ 7 billion people in the world. Exactly. Well, that's exactly what you can do with this opportunity, because you can offer every single one of those people this opportunity because you haven't got the hassle of paying out for wages. Next question.
I've never done anything like this before.
Do you know something? Nor have I. Before I got involved in this industry, and I joined through responding to a newspaper advertisement in a paper, I used to work in a shop. I'd never done anything like this before. But do you know something? I had a thirst for knowledge, and I wanted to learn. So if you could join this business and I could hold you by the hand and walk you step by step through a system, do you think that you could emulate and copy what I've done? And let's say if I just showed you an extra way to earn an extra $100 to $200 a week, would that benefit you and your family? They're either going to say yes or no. Then I always say this few word sentence. Does that sound fair? 4 words. Does that sound fair? You always get a yes from that. Does that sound fair? Yeah. Next question.
I'm not a techie sort of person, so could I do this business?
Oh, that's a great question. Do you know something? You say you're not a techie person. Guess what? The world's top earner with Shopping Sherlock hasn't got a clue about computers. He is absolutely brain dead. But do you know what he can do? He can talk to people passionately about something he genuinely believes in. And what he believes in is the product that can save people time and money, but most important of all, he believes in himself, and he believes that he can offer hundreds and hundreds of other people an income opportunity. Does that make sense? Next question.
I don't have any money.
Ah, that's a great question. Now, how are we going to answer this one? I don't have any money. So the question that you need to be asking is, how much money do you have? So if they say and say, oh, I don't have any money. Well, how much money do you have? Well, I've only got sort of like, oh, I've only got about £100. Great. If I could show you a way where you could build an income earning you $100 to $200 a week, and all that you've got is £100, would that be an opportunity that you'd be interested in getting involved with? Now, they're going to either turn around and say yes or no. Or if you turn around and say, well, you don't have much money, how much money do you have? Oh, I have nothing. Well, let me ask you a question. Let's say I've got a Ferrari Testarossa sitting out on my drive, and it's worth £147,000. And all I want from you is £10,000. And I know you haven't got a penny. Would you find the £10,000? Ask yourself this question. Would you be able to find the £10,000? Do you know what everybody would say? A product worth £147,000 and you only want £10,000 for it, no strings attached. I could rob a bank and I could get that £10,000. So it's not a question you haven't got any money. The question is you don't perceive the opportunity to make the money. That's the difference. So you need to make sure you identify with your prospects, can you see the magic in this business? Can you see how well this business can work? Next question.
I don't think I have enough time.
Oh, that's a great question. I don't think I have enough time. Again, we don't answer the question. We answer the question with a question. Really, how much time do you have? Oh, well, I don't know. I haven't got any time, really. I've got 3 full-time jobs. I've got 4 kids. You know, I'm married. It's this. I've got to do the wallpapering. I've got to do the garden. I've got to do the window cleaning. I've not got any time. Okay. Can I ask you a question? Do you think you could structure 60 minutes a day? Would that be difficult? If I could show you an opportunity where you could structure 60 minutes a day and I could help you earn between $100 to $200 a week, would it be worth putting in those 60 minutes? Now, common sense would say yes. The difference is common sense isn't common. But you see, if you turn around and say, well, could you put in 7 hours a week? 7 hours a week sounds like a part-time job. But if you put it on the basis of 60 minutes a day, and I tell you what, John, I tell you what, Mary, if you took everything out of your diary and put it back in order of importance, you'd be amazed of what you can leave out. So everybody's got time. But here's another adage to the question. Never ask somebody that's got loads of time to do something. Always ask somebody that's busy. Busy people are the people that make things work. People that got time on their hands have time on their hands for a reason. You need to really identify that. Excuse me 1 second. Telephone rings. Simon Brookes, call me back. Okay, that's how you get rid of phone calls real fast. And if it's one of you guys that's on the webinar trying to phone me, I do apologize. Okay, next question.
Am I too old?
Oh, that's good. Am I too old? Well, I tell you now, this is the qualification for people that can get involved. Anybody that breathes oxygen and anybody that has red blood. You need to be older than 18 and under 118. If you qualify in those 2 categories, then this opportunity will be for you. Does that sound fair? Okay, so it's like there's no age limit. We've got people in their 70s, in their 80s making an income with the Shopping Sherlock. So no, don't worry about age. Next question.
I'm looking for a career.
That's great. Guess what? The guy I work with on a day-to-day basis, he has made a career out of this opportunity. He's been doing it for 25 years and has made over 10.5 million. Let me ask you a question. If you're looking to make a career, let's say if you're going to be a teacher or a construction worker or whatever career you want to do, in a 25-year period, do you think you're going to be earning or have earned 10.5 million? I think I know the answer to the question. So do you think the opportunity would be a good fit for you if it had that income opportunity? Okay, does that sound fair? Next question.
I don't drive.
Oh, that is phenomenal. I was talking, in actual fact, before I say this, let me just ask somebody. No, he's not on the call. Okay, I was talking to one of my new distributors, and I know you're going to be listening to this later on a recording, but this guy, this is how we used to build in the old days. When I say in the old days, I'm talking like 10, 15, 18 years ago. I used to travel 3 hours to go and see a prospect, spend 3 hours doing a presentation, spend 3 hours coming home, and then they turn around and say, I'll think about it. Guess what, folks? That is so lucky. Don't ever do that. I turned around and said to this guy in America, I'm going to buy you a bucket of super glue, and I'm going to buy half a dozen 6-inch nails. I'm going to super glue your backside to your chair at home, and I'm going to nail your feet to the floor. Because guess what? We use modern technology. Gone are the days where we're going all over the world, all over the country doing presentations. That is the slowest way you can build an opportunity. The fastest way is by you using the telephone, using your email, using common sense. Picking up the phone and telling people, listen, John, listen, Mary, I've got an opportunity that I've just got involved with, which will blow your brains out. What's your latest email? What's the email that you receive all your emails on? I'm going to send you an email all about my opportunity. I'd like to have a look at it. See, the great part is, folks, we have a system, and it's an unbeatable system. You look at all these other opportunities, they haven't got a system that can come close to us. Now, the sad part is the majority of you people listening to this training aren't using the system. And I think you're crazy, absolutely crazy. Why? It doesn't get any simpler than make a list of all your people, all your prospects, people that you care about, people that you could share the opportunity with, and say, listen, I've got involved in this opportunity because, and you've got to focus and think of the reason why you joined. Either because I'm potless, because I tripped over, broke my arm, can't work in my job, needed a secondary income, whatever, needed to make extra money, my kids are getting married, there's loads of different things. I need to save up for a holiday, I've got to get a new car, we got to do this, we got to do that. You need to find a reason. You need to find your why you've got involved in the opportunity. So then you tell your prospects that. Then you say, right, I'm going to share with you and show you one of our websites that's got step 1 and step 2 on. You need to take about 30 to 40 minutes out of your life to take the rest of your life off. Does that sound fair? They're going to come around and say, yeah. Now you say, right, I'm going to send this to you in about the next 10 minutes. Will you get time to look at that this evening? Well, yeah, no. Okay, I'm not going to send it to you until you phone me back and you let me know when you're going to have time. Does that sound fair? Listen, I've got 27 other phone calls I've got to make. Mary, I thought of you first. So I've spent my time thinking that you could really benefit from this. Would you give me the time of having a look at it and coming back to me? Does that sound... See, you've got to understand one difference with me than all of you folk listening to this is I come from a position of strength. I don't stand people mucking me around. People don't do that with me. Because I tell you now, I will verbally slap people from here to kingdom come. Why? Because I know life isn't a rehearsal. We're only on this planet once. We're on this planet for a short time, but definitely for a good time, but not for a long time. So I'm a great believer. If I've got a list of prospects, I need to get through these prospects as fast as I can. So I'm going to get through these prospects without wasting my time. They can waste their time, but not my time. I've just realized, hi Mark, I've just been talking about you super gluing your bum and banging in. Now, the guy I was telling you about before, folks, Mark in America, he's actually on the call. I've just realized he's on the call. So I'm very, very tough with people. And people, I had a guy come around my house last night to my meeting. I do meetings at my house every Monday evening. And he said, wow, you are just like you sound on the phone. You are tough. You stand no nonsense. I said, why? Let me tell you why I stand no nonsense. Because I've been involved in this opportunity or this industry for 25 years. I have been messed around by so many people with so much BS. I said, I haven't got time to be messed around anymore. This to me, I know people turn around and say this is a marathon, not a sprint. Well, I'm sorry, I tend to sprint for 26 miles. I'm a great believer it's easier to succeed faster than slower. So I knew that I had to get to diamond as fast as I could. So I did global in the first 18 days, and I went diamond in the first 20 weeks. Because I knew that that was my target, Say again? I'm being told not relevant. Okay. I knew I had to get on with the job and do it fast. Okay, let's get another question.
Yeah, basically, someone said they've never run any sort of business. They've been in a job for over 20 years. So could this be done? Is this easy?
Okay. Well, okay. Most important thing is you need to leave your job mentality with your last job. This is an opportunity mentality. You need to have a business mentality where you can get involved. But the simplicity to it is that you need to be coachable and teachable. You need to contact me every single day, but not just once a day. Could be twice, 3 times, 4 times, 6 times. I always say to all of the people that I personally sponsor, if you had 1,000 people in your organization, is it easier for you to phone 1,000 or for 1,000 to phone you? It's a lot easier for the 1,000 to phone you. Why? Because you don't know if they see it like you do. So you could be wasting all of your time phoning them and trying to get blood out of a stone. It's easier to give birth than to get blood out of a stone. Tell you now, a lot easier. But getting back to the person that says, I've never had a business before. No, guess what? 99% of the people that join this program have never had a business before. So don't feel left out. Next question.
I don't know if I live in the right area.
That's an interesting one. I don't know if I live in the right area. Well, guess what? Nor do I. But all my distributors, I have over 5,000 distributors that live in Russia. I live in the United Kingdom. I have thousands of distributors that live in America. I live in the United Kingdom. I've got hundreds of distributors that live in South Africa. I live in the United Kingdom. Makes no difference where you live, because guess what? Wherever you do live, you will have neighbors in your road. Those neighbors will not be involved in the opportunity. So it's not a question of living in the right area. Because we're in the internet age, it doesn't matter what area you live in. You could live in a tent. You could live on the motorway. It makes no difference. Next question.
Okay, there are already people living in my area who are in this opportunity.
Yep, and hopefully there's going to be a lot more. But I'll tell you what, it won't make any difference to the people that are in your area, in your road. Let me ask you a question. Let's say if either neighbor, left and right of you, was in the opportunity in somebody else's organization, it wouldn't make a difference to you. But a simple reason is, if they've got a brother or a sister, it won't be the same brother or sister as you. If they got friends, they won't be the same friends as yours. Everybody knows different people, so it makes no difference of who's involved in the opportunity. But let me give you one of my biggest fears that I've had for 25 years in networking. And this is what makes me always race to the finishing post. One of my worst fears is turning up to a convention, seeing somebody strutting across stage saying, oh, this is amazing. I've been involved in this opportunity for 6 months and I'm making a fortune. It's absolutely great. And I look at my wife and say, that's one of my best friends. But guess what? I forgot to ask that best friend whether they'd like the opportunity. So the moral of the story is never, ever prejudge. Anyway, next objection.
I've just joined another company recently before you told me about this. Should I do too?
Okay. Well, let me tell you now, I've heard of a lot of people that try 2 and sometimes 3 opportunities. Well, let me tell you now, I live just up the road from the Grand National. Now, a lot of you around the world won't have a clue what the Grand National is. It's possibly one of the most famous horse races that has horse jumps, and they're the biggest jumps. Now, let's say we're just about to start the horse race, and I'm going to be sat on the winning horse, and somebody comes along and says, oh, do me a favor, Simon, can you ride 2 horses and win the race for me, please? You've got no chance. But let me tell you the most important reason why you shouldn't be doing more than one company. But the simple reason is you're wearing the hat of Shopping Sherlock, then all of a sudden you're speaking to a prospect and they say, nah, it's not really going to be for me. Then you take that hat off and you put this one on. And you say, well, I've got this health and nutrition product and this program. This might be for you. This might work for you. And they think, oh, well, yeah, I'm going to get involved in that. You think, whoopee, I didn't lose a prospect. But guess what? That person doesn't make the health and nutritional company work. So they think, well, my upline leader does 2 companies. I'm going to do 2 companies. But guess what? The other company they do isn't your company. You cannot make a fortune. But here's a tip. If you look at all the people making a fortune, now I would call a fortune over $1 million a year. Have you ever heard of any of those people doing more than one opportunity? Never. You get involved in one, you stick with one, you stay focused with one. But let me ask you this question. Where is there anything better than giving something away for free and you making money on it? You can't get any better. Where you can get it into any country worldwide as long as they got one qualification, and that means they need to have internet access. It doesn't get any better than that. Next question.
Will the market saturate?
That's a great question. Will the market saturate? Let's talk about saturation. Okay. Let's say this is the question you need to say to people. How many people do you know that own a fridge or a refrigerator? Oh, everybody. How many refrigerators do you buy in your lifetime? Don't know. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. How many shops sell refrigerators? Oh, loads. Guess what? They're going out of business next week. They've saturated the market. Everybody's got one. You don't buy many, and there's loads of people selling them. You can never saturate the market. It's a myth. We had a meeting last night, and I said to this prospect that was here, and I said to him, have you ever heard of this industry before? He goes, no, not really. I said, okay, let me ask you a different question. Have you ever heard of a company called Amway? He said, Amway? No. He said, what's that all about? I said, well, there you go. That company is 53 years old. You've never heard of it. So if anyone ever says to you about, can you saturate the market? It's a myth. Saturation is a myth. But I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be really honest, folks. If we do manage to saturate the market, every single one of you listening to this training will be a multi-millionaire. Will we have a problem? No. Next question.
Can I work this business with my partner?
Now, with your partner, do you mean that's with your wife, somebody else's wife, with your husband? When you say your partner, do you mean business partner? It depends. If someone says, can I work this with my partner, i.e. your wife, well, that's what I do. Me and my wife, we do this like full-time all the time. It's like, if I had a business partner, could I work the opportunity with my partner in the business? Then that's down to a personal decision on their part. Next question.
Is it a pyramid scheme?
That's a great question. Well, if it was, we'd have to move to Egypt, because I tell you now, it's only Egypt that I know that like to buy pyramids. But I mean, is it pyramid selling? Great question. Well, you can remember, folks, if you look at the last week's training, there's a video on the last week's training. If you go on Destination Diamond, you go on to training, you could look at the last week's training, and it's got a video cartoon of pyramid selling. Pyramid selling was outlawed in in the UK, was outlawed in 1973. It was legalized by the DTI, Department of Trade and Industry, as one of the most honorable and ethical businesses to become part of. So pyramid selling isn't illegal, but I tell you what, this is the question I tend to ask people. If I'm speaking to a prospect and I say to people, okay, you're asking me, is it pyramid selling? This will always get any prospect, if you really confront them, and you turn around and say, can you tell me and explain to me what you think pyramid selling is? 99.999% of the population haven't got a clue what pyramid selling is. But do you know something? Every single one of them know and think it's bad. But then when you go around and you say, well, did you know that your church is a pyramid? Did you know that your sports team is a pyramid? Did you know that the company you work with is a pyramid? Did you know that everything in life has to form the structure of a pyramid? Otherwise it will not work. So don't worry about pyramid selling. It's not pyramid selling, but everything has to boil down and form down of the pyramid. This, to me, is very, very similar if you look at the armed forces. The armed forces, you have a field marshal. The field marshal has a general. The general has colonels. Colonels have majors. Majors has captains. Captains have troops. The troops can't be the field marshal. So it's like everything has to form a pyramid. You take the church. You have, who's the top guy in the church? You have the Pope. The Pope has then bishops. Bishops have cardinals, or however it goes, and then vicars and then preachers and everything else. It all forms the basis of a pyramid. But guess what? The troops don't speak to the field marshal. The vicars don't speak to the Pope. It all works in a hierarchy. It's exactly the same as our business. Next question.
My wife won't let me do this. I've lost cash on stuff like this before.
Ah, now that's an interesting question. My wife won't let me do this. Okay, well, number one, man up! No, I wouldn't say that. Okay. I mean, you can. With me, I tend to make things a lot of fun. So I turn around and say, well, does your wife make all the decisions? No, I don't really want to annoy the prospect. But if you turn around and say, well, you've obviously got a reason for saying that. Can I ask you a question? Which company have you tried before? And which company haven't you made money with before? And then they'll turn around and say, well, I got involved in this one and this one and this one. Ah, right. You had to invest a lot of money. Yes, I did. You had to buy a lot of product and then you had to sell it. And guess what? I bet you couldn't sell it. That's right. Well, guess what? There's no investment with our program. Yep, you heard me right. There's no investment with our business. Oh, so you mean it's not going to cost me anything? Ah, no. Sorry. There's a small outlay, but there's no investment. An investment to me is something that you put in more than £1,000 or many hundreds of pounds. Our outlay is like $249. In the UK, that's about £160. I tell you now, folks, you can go to some restaurants and spend that money on a bottle of wine. That is not classed as an investment. That is a small outlay. Okay, for a bottle of wine, that's a large outlay, but it's an outlay. It's just a small outlay. Okay, so you ask the person, which company have you been involved with before, and why do you think you lost money? Next question.
It's too good to be true.
Okay. Yes, you're 100% right. The two biggest objections you're going to get is, number one, it's too good to be true. The second one is, where's the catch? Now, I'll tell you now, I've been in this industry for 25 years and my bank manager still can't find the catch. But they love me banking the check. So, you know, it's, yeah, what if you think to say something, it is too good to be true? What if there was an opportunity that it was too good to be true? This is the way I look at the opportunity. We are all focused on being in the right place at the right time. And I've said this before to a lot of people. You look at all the multi-billion-dollar companies. You've got companies like Facebook, Skype, Groupon, Google, Apple. These are all in the internet space. Now, did those people say, oh, that's going to be too good to be true? Possibly. But guess what? They've worked, and the shopping show will be a multi-billion-dollar opportunity. Next question.
What are you drinking? I need an instant income.
Say again.
I need an instant income.
I need an instant income. Yeah, okay. Well, how instant do you want it? Do you want it with, are we talking minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, or years? If you're talking of you want it like you want an income, like if you do 8 hours of work today, you want to get paid at the end of the day, then you need to have a job, because this is an opportunity. Now you are going to have to put some effort in, and then you're going to be then making your money, and you're going to be getting that money in about 2 or 3 weeks' time. If you can't hang out for that, then you do need to get a job. And I make no bones about that, folks. I will not have a problem saying to somebody, perhaps do you really think this might be for you? It will take some work, but I tell you what, in your job, you're going to be lucky if you make £200 a week. With this, you're going to be making about £200 an hour. Which would you prefer? Mm-hmm. Next question.
I know someone who has been involved in network marketing before, and they weren't successful.
Yeah, that's a good question. I know thousands of people that have been in network marketing before, and they've not been successful. But let me put it to you this way. Let's say you want to be a Formula One racing car driver. Are you going to ask Uncle Bert how to do it? Or are you going to ask Lewis Hamilton? Are you going to ask Jensen Button? You need to be asking somebody with a bit of experience that have done it before. And what I would suggest you do, everybody, and I'm hoping everybody that listens to this has got Skype. I live on Skype. So what that would basically mean is if someone says to you, yeah, no, I don't believe anyone's making money with this, you turn around and say, well, that's funny. I'm part of someone's organization that I can introduce you to, and I'm going to share their story with you. Better still, I'm going to get them on Skype. I'm going to get them on the line, and they're going to say to you how they've done with it. Does that sound fair? Get a yes out of them all the time. Okay, next question.
Just the last few now. I am not confident talking to people.
Oh, really? Well, then you're really going to be struggling. Are you married? No. Oh, well, how are you going to get a date? How are you going to get married? If you're struggling talking to people, then perhaps you need to go and get a job where you're working at a factory watching machines go around. And I tell you now, you might be lucky if you earn £100 or £200 a week. But if you can muster up the what's the word, the way that you can actually put a sentence together and understand and be coached and be taught how to talk to the odd person to show them a system, you got the potential of earning, instead of what you're going to make in that job, you could earn that an hour. Does that sound fair? See, you've got to understand, folks, not everybody's going to want our opportunity. As much as we're addicted to it, not everybody will want it. You are going to get some people saying no. But there was an email that I sent out recently with this guy that went out there to get 20 no's a day. And he went and got some yeses out of those 20 no's. But guess what? He ended up making $40,000 a month. So if you had the attitude to go and get as many no's as you possibly can, that's the way forward. That is the way forward. That will get people speaking to people. Okay, I'm going to take one more question, Fraser, then I'm going to finish up and I've got to do some stuff.
Okay. How much is down to luck?
How much is down to luck? Well, there's a percentage down to luck on the basis of, you know, and give an example. There's somebody, in actual fact, there's two people that's listening to this training tonight who both both found me on Facebook. Isn't that amazing? Both of them found me on Facebook. Now, I would have said that's down to luck, but then you've got to ask yourself a question. Why would that be down to luck? Would it be that they knew me? One of them knew me before in networking, and they knew me when I was in my last company making about £40,000 a month. And the other one, I don't know, I must have hooked on one of their friends, and he looked at my profile, and because I wrote a profile with my background, he then connected with me. So you could put that down to luck, or you could put it down to fate. See, I don't believe in luck. I'm a great believer in, you know, the harder you work, the luckier you're going to get. You really are. And it's like, as you folk know, I put so much effort into this, and I work it and work it and work it, whether it be weekends, whatever. Yeah, you might turn around and say, oh, I couldn't do that. But guess what? I have a phenomenal lifestyle. I have a lifestyle that most people just dream of. And I love that. I love that lifestyle. Okay, that's all I'm going to do. Right, now what I'd like to do is cover a few points. I'd like to give everybody listening some homework. I would like you all to just send me an email on simonbrooks1@btinternet.com and just give me one sentence of what you've enjoyed the most about tonight's training. That's really fundamental. And the other point, for everybody that's in a stone's throw of UK, Europe, that can actually fly over to our leadership weekend. As you know, we moved our leadership weekend to the 24th and 25th of November. We are no longer taking post-dated checks. If you want to go on to the leadership weekend, you've got to book it directly from the website. So you see the Destination Diamond site here on your screen. Click on Major Event. If you click on Major Event, that will bring up the actual, there's the all the prices for the event. There's the actual hotel where it's all scheduled, and then you've got the schedule below it of exactly what you get. Okay, so places are going fast, folks, so you need to get it booked as soon as possible. Do not forget, if you sponsor 10 people between now and the 30th of October, you get your money refunded and you get recognition at the event. Okay, so you got the homework, right. Okay, next week's training. You need to make sure you are going to be on that training and get your people on that training, because we're going to be talking to you. We've got a special guest that's going to be talking to you about a lead generation, all to do with Facebook, about how you can get leads. So do not miss next Tuesdays. And also, I've written a book, new book, and you can actually order this on the internet. This is an ebook, and if you go to training on Destination Diamond, you've got PayPal. Click on PayPal, and it shows you how you can actually order the book. Click on PayPal. Okay, the book comes up, you fill it all in. Doesn't matter whether you live in Timbuktu, wherever. The book is only $14.97. That's about £10 or just under £10. That could be, that's delivered via email anywhere in the world. You got loads of tips, hints, advice, how to build the business and everything else. It's like a manual. So anybody, whether it be your team, yourself, whatever, anybody can have that book. Okay, the other thing as well is you might want to add me on Facebook. So if you've got Facebook, go on Facebook, put in Simon Brookes and search me and then add me. Then whenever I post anything, you can always see, ah, that's what he says, that's what he does. Or even read my profile. You might want to copy some of it or do something similar or do your own type of profile. Okay, folks, my time is up. Thank you for yours. I look forward to speaking to you next Tuesday. Do not forget your homework. Please send me a sentence on what you enjoyed the most about this training, and look forward to speaking to you through the week. And don't forget, get your people to register on simonbrooks.info, because that's where you hear the information first. Have a great day. Take care.